to listen to the Lapped Traffic Podcast.
What is up, Lap Traffic Nation? Welcome to episode 230 of the Lap Traffic Podcast. I am your host, the Professor, Brandon Crowd, and this week's show, once again, brought to you by Manscaped. Hit those guys up here in just a little bit. Not going to waste any time tonight. Making his 20th appearance on the Lap Traffic Podcast. He was last on live in studio when he was up for a visit for New Year's. You can catch him and Rusty on Tuesday nights live on YouTube. Welcome back to the Lap Traffic Podcast, Mr. Andrew Sherwin. What's up, brother?
Hey, man, you got Manscaped as a sponsor. That's cool. Make sure everybody get them family jewels all treated up nice.
You know it, man. Sherwin, you don't know what your balls are missing, man. That's all I must say.
I wasn't sure what I was allowed to say, so I kept it real PC there.
I helped you. I helped you out there. Oh, man, what's going on? 20 times, man. Hell yeah.
Has it been that many? Holy crap.
It's been, you for sure, 20. Rusty's probably somewhere in there between 5 and 10 appearances. So.
Well, you know, he's kind of hard to nail down.
Yes. No, it's all right. That's all right. Well, but this actually worked out perfectly because, as you guys know, Lap Traffic PETM, you know, we typically do our shows on Tuesdays, so it makes it a challenge sometimes if we want to do any cross-promotional podcasting. But Lindsay's birthday is tomorrow, and I wanted to be able to take her out to dinner and all that and not have to worry about the show. So I'm like, well, this is a perfect opportunity to do something with you on a Monday night.
Clearly. I like going on a Monday night. This is like prep work for tomorrow.
Right. You get any kinks out, right?
Yeah, knock the dust off, get her all settled down.
What do you guys got coming on tomorrow for PETM 281?
We, you know what, pretty exciting, really. Former president of NASCAR, Brent Dewar. That's
freaking sweet, man. That's very cool.
I've been running him down for a while, and you know, he said, "Hey, yeah, just let's schedule it out in advance so that I can prepare."
Yeah.
And so tomorrow's the day.
That's going to be awesome, man. That'll be right up there with Bob Levine and all that in terms of some of the guests that you guys have had.
Well, I would hope that Brent would be a little bit more forthcoming. I think he still might be on the board, so he probably has to play his cards, a little closer to the vest than maybe Bob would.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, he's been an open book since the first day I met him. So
that's awesome. No, that's going to be a fun show.
Yeah,
very fun.
It'll be interesting.
I'm catching up to you guys, though, with the numbers with my bonus shows. I mean, we were about 70 apart, and we're only about 50 apart now, numbers-wise.
Well, if you keep doing 2 a week, you'll catch us. That's for sure. Because we took a whole damn week off 2 weeks ago and didn't even mean to do it. Mostly my fault.
Well,
but
Sherwin took a nap.
That'll happen. I think I got a fix for that, by the way. So for your listeners that maybe haven't gone down this path, if you're having trouble staying asleep at night, melatonin is in fact your friend.
It is.
I mean, I take one about 90 minutes before I want to go to bed, and the first thing I hear in the morning is the alarm.
That's awesome.
There's none of that waking up at 2:30 staring at the ceiling crap anymore.
Good. No, I can subscribe to that all day long. That's for sure. Lap Traffic Nation, I only start the show out like this when PETM is represented on the show. Sherwin, what you drinking tonight?
I got me a Miller Lite.
Excellent.
And, of course, I've got Fireball.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
always.
Sir. Yes. I am rocking the vodka Red Bull Club soda mix as always. That is just the staple. Last night I actually had a White Claw after a few vodka Red Bulls all day watching the race. Zayla and I weren't ready to throw the towel in yet. Wanted to watch a little bit more college basketball, and I'm like, I think a White Claw would probably be a good idea right about now.
You know what? People like to give you some crap on the old Twitter about White Claw, but the fact of the matter is, it tastes good.
It tastes delicious. It's crisp
it tastes
and
good,
refreshing.
and it's got booze in it. So why in the hell do you care?
Right.
Like, you just do whatever it is you do. If you don't like White Claw, that's fine.
Yep.
But it does, just you do you, we'll do us. It's fine.
Absolutely. Sherwin there, I noticed that number 12 hat you got on as we break fourth wall here a minute. I like that, sir.
Well,
I think we're about to get into some of that a little bit here later on tonight.
There's, I have it because I'm obviously a fan.
Yes, sir.
I don't just have the hat just to be having the hat. So yeah, I wore it today. Congrats to Ryan Blaney, man. That's
Absolutely.
Cool.
Yes, sir.
He's straight up whooped him the last 25 laps or so.
Yeah, he did. I've got. I saw you make a Dale Senior reference, so I broke out my Dale Senior Intimidator shirt here. Got that on.
I noticed you were wearing an Intimidator shirt. That's good stuff too.
The back, man. The back, it says, God created bumpers, and bumpers were made for banging. So I'm like, yeah, that's perfect metaphor as we preview some dirt racing a little later tonight.
Buffers were made for banging.
Yep. I'm like, that's getting.
There's a hidden reference in there somewhere.
It's just a smidge, a little bit. Matt, what'd you do over the weekend? Anything else besides racing and all that, or no?
No, honestly, no. I watched racing, I watched golf, and I watched basketball.
It was a perfect weekend for all of the above. I had two computers going, both of them on YouTube television, which I highly recommend. Works great. But yeah, no, it was all sport. I definiting did a lot of responding to work stuff because that happens. But just watching racing and other stuff. Really, absolutely. Yeah. No, Saturday I went out to the old stomping grounds over in Berkeley to the old sports bar over there and watched the Michigan game and did some grilling after that and smoked a overnight pork butt Saturday night into Sunday afternoon. And yeah, same thing. Basketball, racing, all that good stuff, man. That's for sure.
Pork turned out pretty good.
Oh, man, delicious. Let me tell you. I tell you what, I love Manscaped, but I'm going to get to Manscaped here in a minute. But, man, if I could get like a Meat Church or a Cosmos rub or something like that to sponsor the show, to where they encouraged me to talk about meat rubs and smoking for 10 minutes every show and, gave some giveaways and stuff, I would get on board with that tonight.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I've actually been trying to sort of weasel my way into to getting Smoky Boys to get on board with us.
Nice.
It's just a one-off restaurant up in Northwest Georgia that's owned by the dad of one of the guests that we've had a couple times, the comedian, those those redneck guys. And I just hadn't figured out the right way to time it to see if they'd be interested, because I do it for free. I don't care.
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely.
But it would be fun to have a read, but
absolutely,
man, I tell you what, I can't help but lament a little bit that Georgia Tech's best player didn't get to play in the game on Friday afternoon, because I bet you Tech would have won that game against Loyola, and I bet they would have won that game against Illinois too.
Well, all right. So let me do two shameless plugs, and then let's talk a little March Madness here.
Alrighty.
Lap Traffic Nation, if you haven't checked out last week's show with Tyler Riddick, make sure you go check out episode 229. And if you haven't checked out PETM's last two shows with Deb and Chrissy, get on board with that. Go check that out before PETM's new show tomorrow night. I love the podcast crossover stuff, man. It's awesome to talk to like-minded people doing the same thing in different ways. So that's awesome. The last two shows for you guys have been awesome.
Yeah, well, it made a lot of sense to schedule them both in March, being that, this is we should celebrate women every month.
Sure.
But given that, March is the month designated to be celebrating women, particularly in women in technology and spaces like this. So to have Julia Landauer and then have Deb and Chrissy in like 3 or 4 weeks, that's definitely something that I planned for.
Excellent. I love it. I love that. Nothing wrong with that. So Lap Traffic Nation, this week was supposed to be the second bonus show with Dustin Albino from Jayski. We're going to hold off 1 week, and we're going to wait till next week just so that we can talk about Bristol. I just think that makes too much sense. So we only made it 1 week and are already postponing it once here, but I think that'll be well worth the wait. And of course, Lap Traffic Nation, get over to manscaped.com. Manscaped is the place to take care of the family jewels, boys. I'm telling you, the deodorants, the lawnmower 3.0, crop mops. I mean, you name it. I love the creativity they put into the names. It's great. The products are great. Like I've said, you guys actually, like when you open it up, you feel like you're treating yourself to a nice little man bag, and it's awesome. So go get over to manscaped.com. Use code LAPPED, LAPPED, and get 20% off as well as free shipping. And this is the last week, so let's make a big push, and hopefully there'll be reason for them to come on long term. So yeah, go get to Manscaped and have some fun. Get some stuff. Significant others will thank you. You will thank you. That's what I have to say about that. All right, Sherwin. Tonight, man, let's talk a little March Madness. Let's recap Atlanta. Let's preview the shit out of some Bristol dirt. I'll have Neudorff on with the weather, and then we'll wrap it out with some lucky dogs and fantasy and all that good stuff, my man.
All right. Yeah. Well, let's just to piggyback your Manscaped read real quick.
Yes.
Boys, if you keep things groomed up downstairs, she might want to be down there more often. And
yes,
that's good for everybody.
That's right. It makes the world go round. Yes, sir. All right. Let's get back to a little March Madness talk here. You were setting it there. Georgia Tech, tough loss. I mean, it was upset city for the first 2 rounds there, and see what happens tonight as we wrap up the round of 32 here. But yeah, Georgia Tech, talk about it, man.
Yeah, well, big blow came Wednesday afternoon that the ACC Player of the Year was not going to be eligible to play on Friday or Sunday if they had won because of COVID. And when you only play 6.5 players and you lose the best player in the whole damn league in the ACC, which everybody knows is, pretty top notch from a league perspective, that's tough.
Yeah.
And they were in the game the whole time. They even led in the second half. And then to see Loyola go out and beat Illinois,
that was
like, damn,
surprising.
Man, we were right. We could have been that.
Yeah.
That could have easily been Georgia Tech. We could be talking about the Sweet 16 right now.
Oh man, that's
okay.
Such a bummer, man. I mean, I'm nervous for Michigan with Livers being out, man. Michigan was, before they went on that losing streak to OSU and Michigan State and the Big Ten tournament there, I mean, Michigan was the favorite to win the championship. And now it's like, man, can we get past LSU tonight? I mean, that's going to be a tall order. So, and they actually they have tipped off as I lean over here and look over at the bar across the room here. They've started. So we'll.
Oh, sorry for all the noise. I muted it.
No
yeah,
problem.
I pulled it up just now.
Yeah. Oh, you can keep me updated there.
It's 19-12 LSU.
All right. Well, see, they got a little bit of work to do. That's all right. That's okay. But man, upset city. I mean, I may or may not have had a smirk on my face when Oral Roberts beat OSU. That didn't bother me one bit there.
When ORU beats OSU, it's always funny.
Right?
Yeah. All you Ohio State fans out there.
Yeah.
Go eat a Buckeye.
Hashtag Brad Younger. Oh, man. Let's see. Syracuse beat San Diego State. North Texas over Purdue. Brian Neudorff is still wiping his tears from that one. Man, it's just crazy the amount of upsets, which when you have that many, it's like, did they get it wrong? Is it just still that crazy? Nobody really knowing, with COVID and all that kind of stuff. Like, that's just been a lot of upsets.
You know what? That's exactly what I said when I walked into work today and we started talking about the tournament. Because we have a work bracket that I did not get in because I was not interested. I don't like doing brackets anymore. But I was like, I don't think they got their seating right this year.
Right, yeah.
Have that many 2s and 3s and even a 1 already go out. It's like, okay.
Yeah. And I tell you, Illinois surprised me like crazy just because, kind of like with the ACC, Big Ten basketball is, cream of the crop. And, to watch these guys battle each other night in, night out, and to go and have as piss poor of a showing as the Big Ten has had. I think Michigan might be the last Big Ten team in the tournament, so, and if they're down 7 points already, that's I have to see what happens.
Yeah, I wonder about that. When you see neither Duke nor Kentucky may even make the tournament,
right?
It makes you wonder. Okay, so is that the void that needs filled? That do the people that vote on seeding, do they not understand how these teams stack up? Did they not play enough non-conference games to understand who should have been seated where? I mean, I'll be honest with you. I was a little bit disappointed that Tech got a 9. I thought they should have got a 7 after winning the tournament, but they didn't have to play Virginia because of the COVID thing.
Who's
so it's
out
like
too, right? Virginia got eliminated too yesterday, I thought.
I thought they got eliminated because of COVID, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Maybe that might have been it. That might have been it. Yeah. I think you're right there.
So it's weird. It's still weird. I think we still have a hangover from this COVID stuff.
Yeah.
But what it does is it opens the door for a team like maybe Gonzaga to finally close the deal after all those 1s and 2 seeds. Maybe they're the ones that close it out.
Yeah. No, absolutely. All right, man. What do you say? You ready to talk a little NASCAR from this weekend at your home track, Atlanta Motor
Is this
Speedway?
a racing podcast or what?
I think it is.
All right.
I think it is. All right, man. Let's start with the truck series. Kyle Busch doing Kyle Busch things in the truck, picking up win number 60. We saw him dominate a couple years ago when I was down there with you guys at Atlanta when he picked up the win there as well. I think that was truck win 50 back then. That if memory serves correctly. So. He's just fun to watch. When he's in the truck, it's just the clinic that he's going to put on the field. If he doesn't have that random tire go down or something like that, it's just entertaining to watch him out there on put on that type of a show.
Well, when you think about, you look at what his schedule is and what tracks he picks. Of course, he's going to pick tracks he thinks he can win at. And he's batting pretty well in that department. But when you hear him say, I'm going to run Atlanta, you're like, that's a very technical track. Kyle Busch is probably going to kick everybody's butt.
Yep.
I mean, there's a reason why he has 214 NASCAR wins, and it's not because he sucks at it.
No, I think he's okay. Got it. Let's talk about Georgia boy Austin Hill for a minute. I picked him this week, Lap Traffic Fantasy, because I just thought, I'm like, if there's a track that Austin Hill's going to be due at, it's this one. He's ran there well in the past, and sure enough, second place, ran up front all day. So hopefully that's a little spark and momentum that those guys can use going forward.
Yeah, I think I had already picked him for Homestead maybe, and otherwise I would have picked him. But yeah, no, that's cool.
You can just a little side note. the truck and Xfinity guys, you can pick them as many times as you want. It's just the Cup playoff guys that you can only use once in the Cup Series.
Well,
so
perhaps I misunderstood the rules.
Little tidbit of information there for you going forward.
Because I did definitely want to pick Austin Hill. Yes. So now I know.
Yes. It's just those Cup guys that you're limited once per segment there and can't cross them over. Everybody else is fair game. So, yes. The more you know. The more you know.
The more you know.
The more you
NBC.
know. Yes.
The Peacock.
Yes, sir. I mean, I think I'd be remiss after the last year and a half talking about how bad Johnny Sauter has done to not highlight a top 5 for Johnny Sauter. I hope, just like Austin Hill, that's something that they can use as a momentum booster, because Johnny Sauter didn't just forget how to drive over the last, 14, 16 months. So it's nice to see Sauter go out there and be up front.
Yeah, I saw he was hovering most of the day. I mean, he didn't make a lot of noise on the television, but you know how the television be. They really do a bad job of showing what the field is doing unless something weird's going on. That's something that they really need to consider amending, no matter which series it is. But yeah, I mean, good for him.
Another fan favorite, Ross Chastain, running for Nice Motorsports in the 44. He was up front, he was running top 5 there for a little bit, both stages, finished 7th, been a minute since he's been in the truck. So that was good to see. Some of these guys just getting a little practice for some extra racing. We saw Martin Truex Jr. run an Xfinity race, which is not something we see too often there, but, the truck race I thought was pretty decent. Not necessarily my opinion. I'm kind of still undecided in terms of what I thought about the racing this weekend at Atlanta. If you're gauging off social media, everybody seemed to be a little disappointed with the racing from Atlanta this weekend. No one knows that track better than you and Rusty. So what was your overall take on the racing this weekend? Did it feel like it was missing something? Was it there? People not paying attention? What do you think?
No, I think what it is Atlanta has the ability to create really long green flag runs. And what that does to a race overall is, it tends to lead to gaps between the leader and the rest of the field. If somebody gets it right, they usually can build a gap. And with no practice in qualifying, which I'm not against, actually, I kind of like it.
I'm with you.
You're gonna have this. This is gonna happen, and Atlanta is one of the places it's gonna happen. And so, where I would caution people that get a little bit bent out of shape about, it wasn't side by side all the way to the end. And it's like, well, not every race is. Not every basketball game goes to overtime. Okay, there's blowouts sometimes. It happens. It's part of it. It's sports. So in Atlanta, you should know going in, if you watched this sport at all even if you've only watched it for 3 years, you should know, okay, we're going to Atlanta. There's a good chance somebody's going to hit the setup and they're going to run away with it. And, that's what we saw in all 3 races.
Yes.
So
yep.
I don't think there's anything missed. I think it's just, this is what you need to expect. What the difference is, who that person that's going to be out front is. And that's what changes things. I mean, hell, the Cup race was pretty damn exciting. You had a lead change with 25 laps to go.
Yeah. No,
you don't see that a lot at Atlanta.
No, I'm with you there. All right, let's talk about Bristol, dirt, trucks, Saturday night racing coming up this Saturday. We're going to have heat races that are going to matter. It's not like the Cup to where the heat races are basically just qualifying. My interpretation of a heat race means that there's eliminations at stake, and that's what we are going to get on Saturday with the trucks, with the amount of entries that is anticipated to come out when the full entry list comes out.
Yep. Yeah, we have 11 Cup drivers that are going to try to qualify.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. I'm with you 100% on, if you're going to call it a heat race, somebody has to go home. That's what the definition of a heat race is.
Yeah.
Is if you don't finish in this certain amount of spaces from the front, you don't get to race.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. I love the fact that we're going to have heat races. I'm excited. We got, Myatt Snyder from the Xfinity Series is going to run. We got Bubba. We got Ryan Newman. We got Martin Truex. We got Larson. We got Harvick. I believe Kyle Busch is running this thing, right?
I think so.
Yeah. There's the amount of talent out there is going to be awesome. I think, Racing Cants, our buddy, had mentioned something on Twitter, are we going to get more of these races? Is this going to be a one and done thing? And you're on the opinion that this could be a one and done? Yeah,
absolutely. Did you see any of the footage from the late model racing over the weekend?
I mean, some of that stuff was scary, and it's when you got unlimited horsepower like these modifieds are running, along with the banking and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it can get ugly real quick. So,
well, not just that. It's that, because the track, the dirt part of the track is sitting on top of concrete, it lends itself to drying out very quickly. And the amount of rubber they were putting down does not bode well. You do not want to see rubber go down on a dirt track. And there was a ton of rubber going down with the late models.
Yeah, they are going to have to rototill the shit out of that track as they get ready for this weekend many times.
They're going to have to till it. They're going to have to put down a ton of water. I mean, it's going to be tough for them to manage. I think it's going to be one and done because I don't think it's going to be a very good show. Continue to applaud NASCAR for trying something wildly different. And I know a ton of people are excited about it. I just, you know what? I guess I'm waiting with bated breath. I want to be wrong. How about that?
Sure.
I want to be wrong. I want it to be something that's so much fun that they just keep doing it again. But I don't think that's what it's going to be.
I am all about running trucks on dirt. Hell, I'm even cool if they want to do it twice a year. I am all about trucks on the dirt. I don't know that I am going to be all about Cup on the dirt. And like if we're wrong and it ends up being like the most, on the edge of your seat and a great race, cool. And I think there's the potential to have that at tracks that are already set up for dirt, like in Eldora, and I get why they maybe couldn't take their cars there, but to make a track for it, like you said, in terms of, with all that dirt being on top of concrete and the drying out and how, I'll use the term moist for Sidney Lett, you need that dirt to be, it's just going to be interesting. I truly believe the trucks will deliver on Saturday night is what we've come to expect. We want a scrappy race when we're talking short track and the truck series. And I think we'll get a scrappy race. I think we might get some punches thrown maybe after Saturday night. One can only hope, so I think trucks will deliver. I think we may come away a little feeling a little empty handed on Sunday though.
Yeah, I'm all for doing this with trucks and maybe even with Xfinity. Cup, I'm a little bit leery about. I don't, especially the main issue I have is not that we're going to race on dirt. It's that we chose to eliminate a Bristol race.
Yeah, I hear you.
Like, hey, man, this is like one of the coolest things that we do in NASCAR. And you're like, yeah, let's just pile a bunch of dirt on it and see what happens.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I guess.
All right, man. One of the questions we had asked the listeners was how many will make the race? Will anybody miss the race? Jess at Iowa NASCAR fan, I think they all will make it. Bubba's got an Eldora win. Newman has some dirt experience at the Chili Bowl. He'd be worried about Truex, but he thinks he's locked in. Ryan at Ryan Bulls 4. Only one that may not make it is Newman. Not sure about the equipment he's in. Rest of the Cup guys have some pretty good teams. Either way, it's going to be fun to watch. So what's your response to that? Do you think anybody misses the race that is going to try to make it?
I don't think any of the Cup guys will miss it. No.
Yeah. No, I don't see how they could.
Yeah, they're just so good that, I mean, there's a reason why they're all, everybody you just named has at least like 15 wins in the Cup series. There's a reason for that. Right.
Yep. And a lot of them,
except Larson, he's still young in his career, but
he's not far. He ain't far from it.
Yeah, he's got 7 now.
Yeah. Yeah. He's halfway there. He'll get there. That's for sure. All right, man. Saturday night, I am ecstatic. I am ready. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna let you guys in on a little conversation that Lindsay and I had. Sherwin, you'll find the humor in this. So, like I said, it's Lindsay's birthday tomorrow. We were looking at going and doing something for like a little weekend getaway kind of thing to get out of the house. And we had looked at like last weekend. We had looked at this weekend, and she just goes, "Why are you avoiding this weekend like the plague?" Like, I was trying to sell. Well, man, what about the first weekend in April? What about going and doing something, the weekend before your birthday? Like, I am just tiptoeing around this weekend when it's coming to planning this with her. And she finally just came out and said, what is that weekend? And I said, it's Bristol Dirt, and I need to be available for the entire thing, start to finish. and Lindsay being Lindsay, as you know, and have gotten to know Lindsay Sherwin, the shit she gave me for that, but was just like, okay, fine. So we settled on Thursday, Friday. We'll be back Saturday morning so that I will be ready to go for the heat races on Saturday night for the Bristol truck race.
Sounds good.
Yes.
I think I'm actually on call this coming weekend. I'm not sure yet. I have to look at my schedule, but hopefully I'll solve all the problems that need to be solved while the sun's still up.
There we go. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, man. Let's talk a little Xfinity racing from this past weekend in Atlanta. Let's start with our race winner, Justin Allgaier. To me, this is a staple win for Justin Allgaier because I feel like for the last 5 years, it just feels like we're talking about when is Allgaier going to get the win, and we're talking about that like late summer. Approaching the playoffs, we're still talking about Allgaier getting that first win. We're now in March. Allgaier picked up the win. If he can get on a tear, he will go on one and give some competition for Austin Cindric. So Justin Allgaier winning early in the season means something, I think.
Yeah, well, if nothing else, it lets Junior Motorsports know that their equipment is where they need it to be. And to your point on Justin Allgaier, he's been one of those guys that's sort of pointed his way in a lot.
Yep.
Hadn't really won as much as the sponsorship commitment that he has and the level of car that he's being provided. And so, yeah, this may be a windfall for him. It may be a one and done. I don't know, but all right, let's Junior Motorsports know that their stuff is where it needs to be at. And, they're probably looking around at the other guys going, hey, we got stuff that can win. Y'all get out there and get it done.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Couple quick shout outs to Landon Castle with a top 15. Tommy Joe Martins with a 18th place finish there. Solid days for both those guys. Running well. Finishing on the lead lap. Anytime you can finish on the lead lap, late caution, something like that, then you got the chance to pick up a couple, 3-4 spots there. So it's nice to see I know Tommy Joe's got big ties to your show. I've gotten to know Landon pretty well over the last few months here. So that's awesome to see.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that Tommy Joe's driving in his own equipment, that's cool. I mean, anytime that he can get a top 20 in his own equipment, that's good. That's real good, because that's probably not a top 20 car.
Sure.
But he certainly did get himself a top 20 out of it. Yeah.
Yes. Yep. All right, man. I need a little help from you on this one, because I was late to the party on the Xfinity Series race, a little later than I had planned on being, with watching the Michigan basketball game Saturday afternoon and all that. So set up for us Noah Gragson and Daniel Hemrick. What happened during the race with those guys. We all saw the replay of pit road, and we can get into that. But set up what led to the post-race stuff with Noah Gragson and Daniel Hemrick.
Yeah, so evidently what happened was the 99 was trying to leave his pit when Hemrick was coming in to his. And so he had to avoid him. And because of that, he slid most of his car into Noah Gregson's pit, because they were pitted back to back. And so he had to back up too in order to complete his pit stop. And Noah, being Noah, I mean, good, bad, or indifferent, it doesn't really matter at this point what you think of Noah. But, Noah had to stop basically on pit road, pull in, and then had to put it in reverse. And Noah, being Noah, he just decided, you know what, I'm going to ease it right on back until I bump into him and just let him know, hey, I don't appreciate you being in my pit stall when I was trying to pit. And obviously, after the race was over, there wasn't any on-track stuff that I'm aware of. But after the race was over, Hemrick decided to come over and interrupt his interview, which is kind of a no-no.
Right.
And, and as we know now, and we have known for a couple of years now, Noah is not scared to throw hands.
He threw a freaking haymaker.
If you come down to Noah's pit, I'm telling you right now, I don't care how big you are, how mean you are, how tough you are, how good a fighter you are. If you come down and you try to walk down Noah Gragson, you better be ready to get thrown at, because that's what's going to happen.
Yes. All right.
And
now let's there's a couple things that I want that I think will be some fun to talk about here. First of all, let's first start with what happened on pit road. I'm all for love taps. I have no problem with that. Well, my issue that I have with it is that there were innocent bystanders at play trying to do their job, and the trajectory and what you can see in these cars out of the mirrors is limited, so that right rear tire changer, he could have, he did almost hit him, so I'm all for love tapping and letting somebody know, hey, you pissed me off. But that got a little close for comfort there, I think.
Yeah, I think that's where he's going to run into trouble with NASCAR.
Yeah.
Is the safety aspect of the situation. I would expect there to be, he got called to the hauler.
Yes.
So we already know he got in some kind of trouble.
Right.
I guess we'll know tomorrow, because they usually post that stuff on Wednesdays. But that's not cool. I will not condone that. But at the same time, when I watch that replay over and over, it's not like he just threw it in reverse and dumped the clutch.
No.
He just kind of backed up too far, whether he meant to do it or not. I mean, I think we all can probably say for sure that he meant to do it.
Yes.
But he didn't hit, Hemrick's car hard enough for it to matter.
No.
But to your point, he did almost hit the right front tire changer, and that's not okay.
No, yeah. But
So
I'm all for them tussling afterwards. I love that. Not that I condone violence, but hey, it's no different than hockey. You're going to get into scuffles in hockey. I would like to request that the pit guys let these guys get after it a little bit before they just start getting in there. And I think I don't know if I had just texted you this or if I had tweeted it out. I think the crew guys want to get in. They want in on the fun is what they want, I think.
Well, I mean, you think about who these crew guys are, right? Most of them are ex-football, baseball, or basketball players, right? So they're all athletes,
Yes.
like for real athletes. They're competitors. They're not, especially on a JRM or a Joe Gibbs car, they're not guys that, grew up sitting behind a desk.
No.
They grew up as athletes. That's why they're where they're at. And so, yeah, of course they want in, but I would really love to see some reservation from the teams and go, Hemrick's obviously a lot bigger man than Noah Gregson is, but if you're Noah Gregson's teammate, your guy likes to throw hands.
Right.
Let him throw some hands.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Form
the circle.
Just
Form
say,
the
hey,
circle.
you guys work it out. Once it goes to the ground, we'll break it up, just
Yes.
like hockey.
Right. Yeah. Once it falls, yeah, then we'll back them up. Yeah. All right, man. Well, let's wrap up the Xfinity chat here with, are you surprised that, NASCAR went through all this stuff to get a dirt race at Bristol? They're running all these other modified events, which I think is great. Hey, you threw down the dirt, you might as well use it and give a reason for people to come. So all that said, I'm surprised they're not running the Xfinity Series this weekend.
I don't think I even realized they weren't.
Yeah. Xfinity's got 2 weeks off. They're off this week. They're not back until after Easter, April 9th at Martinsville for the first Dash for Cash race. So I was surprised.
No wonder so many Cup guys are getting in trucks instead of Xfinity cars. That makes a lot more sense now. And this is the level that I pay attention. Is I didn't even know that. But yeah, I don't know why this isn't a triple header, to be honest with you.
Exactly. Friday night. I think they could have done Friday night, Saturday night, and then, your Sunday late afternoon for the Cup. But I digress.
I would have thought they would want to do that just from an understanding how the track is going to react.
Sure.
Do we need to bring more water in? Do we need to bring more dirt in? How often do we have to tail it? Like all those things.
Yeah, no, I am with you there, sir. Hey, I think I just heard some ice going on your end. I'm ready for a refill. I'm going to hit stop here, and we'll pick it back up with Cup here in just a second. All right, and we're back with tasty beverages refilled and all that good stuff. All right, man. Let's talk a little Cup from Atlanta. Ryan Blaney picks up the win. Two things that stick out for me with that is, one, Blaney picks up a win before Brad or Joey. I would not have won that bet.
No, I wouldn't have either. For sure.
We saw last year, Blaney dominate and be up front and contend for wins. He's just always seems like the last, year and a half, season and a half, whatever you want to call it, have that problem to close the door. But here he was dominating, finished third, stage one, second, stage two. Like you mentioned earlier, to have that lead change from Kyle Larson, who was dominating and who was looking like he was going to end our streak. That's pretty decent and exciting racing to have towards the end of the race at Atlanta.
Yeah, well, if it weren't for Blaney winning, then we'd have to be talking about how Truex ran away with another 1.5 mile race. And now we don't have to talk about that. And we can talk about Blaney.
Yes.
which is pretty cool. I mean, that makes it more fun. Obviously, Truex is kind of the 1.5 mile king right now. At least he has been the last, I don't know, call it 5 years or so. So no, it's cool. I'm kind of shocked that Blaney did beat his teammates to the punch, so to speak. But it's neat. I wish I was there. That's the only thing I lament.
Absolutely. Yeah, I could only imagine. Could only imagine that when you're used to going and all that, yeah, we can get into that here in a minute if you want. Talk about some races that we're planning on, at least hoping to be able to make work and attend this year. Let's talk about Kyle Larson, not missing a beat. We're 6 races in. He's already got a win. He's very close to having multiple wins. Finished second today or Sunday. I think he's got another second place and a couple other top fives. He could have had, like I said, a few more. I am impressed with what Kyle Larson's doing in the race car.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people have said it, so it's certainly not fresh material from me. But what happens when Kyle Larson gets into really top flight equipment? Well, this is what happens. And it's hard to win these races, which is why he's only got the one win. But he's there. He's there every weekend, right up there in the conversation. And that's what happens when you drive a top flight car.
Absolutely.
And Hendrick right now is showing that they probably have the best cars in the business right now.
Absolutely. You got Alex Bowman with the top 5. We got William Byron with a win already. Larson's got his win. It's just a matter of time before Bowman picks his up this year. And that's what leads to the fun talk here, right? The streak continues, 6 races in, and we're not talking about 6 winners with Kevin Harvick and Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch and Joey Logano and Brad Keselowski. Those guys still have yet to win, and if we assume what history has told us is that those guys will get wins, so now that 6, could very well become 12, 13 different winners. Are we going to hit 17? I will tell you, I think this year, maybe it could be the year because of the struggles that we're seeing with some of these guys. And you throw in a dirt track this weekend at Bristol that I think is anybody's game. I think that's, just like a Talladega or a Daytona, to where that's an even playing field. Plus the fact that we've got a Talladega and one more Daytona trip to go. Are we going to hit it? Probably not, but we're going to dance around 16, 17, I think.
Yeah, I think what we need is, so we're going to have another surprise winner. And by surprise, I don't mean necessarily as surprising as Michael McDowell won in the 500 to start the year. I think what we're going to need is somebody like an Eric Almirola, somebody like an Austin Dillon to get wins. If we really want to approach that place where NASCAR is going to have to sort of reset what their perspective is on winning you're in.
Yes.
Because I think you're right. I mean, you could probably name 6 drivers right now who you expect to win in the first 26 races who have not won a race, and the ones you mentioned, I mean, you got Denny, you got Kyle Busch, you got Joey, you got Kevin, you got Chase, even
right there.
Truex hasn't won a race yet. I mean, you're talking. There's 6 guys out there that you would expect to have won a race by the time we get back to Daytona in September that haven't won yet.
Yes. Yep. I'm just looking forward to what's ahead over the summer, man. All right, let's talk about Kevin Harvick. Everybody expected that team to be someone we were talking about as far as contention to win this past weekend in Atlanta. Early issues. I had a tire go down on him. Fought all day to get back on the lead lap. Salvaged a top 10. And if that was... he started off the season with 3 top 10s, and him and Michael McDowell were the only 3.5 top 10s. And since Vegas, that team has been struggling. You would expect him and Rodney to figure some things out here. But I saw Mick Rose tweeted out, if it's not for Kevin Harvick, SHR is 22nd, 24th, and 26th in the point standings, I think he put out there. SHR is just clearly missing a beat right now.
Yeah, they're slow. That's all there is to it. They're slow. And there's you can't race your way out of being slow.
No. You can back your way into something like Kevin Harvick, salvaging a top 10. And that was just, I honestly think what really helped him was that quick caution that we had. I think it was right after stage 2 started that they were able to come down. They still kept a lap down, but then we got one other caution that they took the wave around on, I believe. And they were able to nickel and dime their way back from that. But if it wasn't for that, we're probably talking somewhere between a 15th and 20th place finish for Kevin Harvick this weekend.
Yeah, well, and if you think about this, I mean, everybody knows that when you show up at Atlanta, the best race driver on the grid at Atlanta is Kevin Harvick, because he knows how to do things that other people just don't know how to do. And for them to have to struggle and fight and brood and get lucky with the way the cautions fell to get a top 10 means SHR's got some soul searching to do.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And I mean, if we're going to be honest, they, even if they strike gold and pick up a win this Sunday at Bristol, problems are not solved, because this is a, quote unquote gimmick race, if you will, in terms of, we ain't going back on a dirt track for Cup this year. So they, we're still a couple weeks away from them being able to resolve any possible issues that they may have.
100%. 100%.
All right, man. Let's wrap up Atlanta talk with the elephant in the room that comes up after every Atlanta race, and that is repave. Sir, where are we at?
As far as I can tell, based on the channels that I have access to, it's not happening. It's certainly not happening. It's certainly not happening before July. So if they make that decision after July to do it before next year, then they do. But
that's right. We're going back to Atlanta twice this year.
Yeah, we're going back in July. And, as long as we don't have a significant rain event that causes the weepers to sort of poke their head out of the weeds, I imagine they probably will just leave it alone.
I'm okay with that. I love tracks that tires matter, man. We were tweeting about that before the race, and I was excited to see some fall off and some pit strategy and all that good stuff. Let me ask you this, July Atlanta is going to be steamy and hot. Will that change the racing at all? Because, I mean, it's been a minute since Atlanta's had a summer race.
Yeah, I can't recall that they've had a summer race before, not like July summer.
Sure.
Now, some of those races that we had in September, holy crap, new kinds of hot. 100 degrees,
yeah,
stagnant air. Miserable, like us sitting in the campground in camp chairs, staring at each other, sweating, like not even wanting to drink a beer
Wishing we
Like
had some manscaped crop mops at that point in time.
Yeah, for sure. And just not wanting to do anything. I mean, just so freaking hot. You're like, I don't even what is it's going on right now.
Right.
So July, as ironic as it sounds, July isn't as hot as early September is in Atlanta.
That's crazy.
I mean, there's a chance it might only be 87 degrees.
See, now that's good race weather for me. I'm all about that. I'll take that, because there have been some nasty August 95-degree days up here at MIS to where you're just dripping sweat from humidity and stuff. So, 85. I'll take 85 all day.
Yeah, and so Labor Day's been that way for a long time. The way you're, describing that August Michigan race is very similar weather, except for at about 15% humidity.
Yeah. Yep.
And absolutely no breeze of any kind at all.
Just dry. Just that Vegas dry. Well, no, not
just
dry.
Like you can feel the air. It's so heavy.
Yep.
And it's 100 degrees.
Yes. All right, man. Well, I think that's some pretty good race discussion there, man. And we'll leave it with Sunday as hope for the best, and It's going to be unique. It's going to be entertaining one way or another. I mean, it's not like it's going to be a boring race on Sunday. It just could maybe get stretched out a little bit. We might just see some cluster bleeps. I'm curious to see how they are from throwing cautions. Like, are they going to be, Johnny on the spot, and we're just going to throw a caution the second they kiss the wall? Are they going to let them get a little rough and beat and bang and spin, coming out as in turns, and not throw the caution right away? That's, I think, what's going to make or break it for me is, do they let them race, or are they just going to just throw cautions, every lap and a half?
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be weird, and weird for a lot of reasons. Like, we've seen the trucks on the dirt before. We kind of know what to expect there. We haven't seen 38, 39, 40 Cup guys line up in a Cup car and run on dirt. That's not something that we've seen before. Right. Nobody's seen that before in this technology platform. I mean, we haven't raced on dirt in NASCAR in 60 years?
Yeah. I mean, it's new to all of us.
It's been a minute. And it's not that these guys can't do it. It's what is the product going to look like?
Sure. Yep.
We already know they're going to be running almost 5 seconds slower per lap than we typically see at Bristol. So it's going to look slow on television.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's a great point. It is definitely with the drifting and they got to lift early as it is, when we're running on without dirt, so they are going to be lifting. They are, I would be surprised to see them crack 85, 90 on the stretches.
Oh, they'll hit that, but it won't be anything like the 150 that they typically hit on the concrete.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we'll leave it with that for the race talk. Let's hit a little social media here real quick. Everybody, make sure you go to the website, thelaptrafficpodcast.com, Facebook, The Lap Traffic Podcast, YouTube, Lap Traffic Podcast, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff at Lap Traffic PC. Shows on all the platforms. Less than 200 followers away. Very excited about this. Picked up a good chunk this weekend from a follower's perspective. Less than 200 away from giving away the Clint Boyer diecast and some Lap Traffic swag. And rumor has it, if you guys listened to the bonus content with the Carnomaly 500 and the E-Racer series and all that, Valvoline has sent me a giveaway bag, swag bag, whatever you want to call it there. So some stuff coming out there to give away, which is always fun. Some new followers. Shout out Shamrock13 at Shamrock136, big NASCAR Kevin Harvick fan. Marianne at Jaguar XJ7, big Newman fan. 18 fan at J_S_JLA Kyle Busch fan. Ashley Tompkins at AN Tompkins 1, big Denny Hamlin fan. Welcome to the show, guys. Tell your friends, all that good stuff. There's a new store on the website. Got some new hoodies, t-shirts, all that good stuff. Go check that out. And of course, stickers and koozies are available for free. Just hit me up and I will get them out to you. And Sherwin will do some plugging and all that kind of stuff towards the end of the show. Sherwin, I'm going to hit a quick pause break here just so I can drop in Mr. Brian Neudorff and get a little weather segment in here.
All righty.
All right, Lap Traffic Nation joining me on the line. You can follow him on Twitter at NASCAR_WXMAN, along with Aaron Studwell at Race Weather. Back for his every other week rotation. It's Mr. Brian Neudorff. Sir, good evening. How are you?
I'm blessed. Thank you, sir.
Excellent.
Except I'm going to tell you, I'm better than the Big Ten.
Oh, man, it's been a struggle, man. We got Michigan basketball getting ready to fire off here in a little bit. But, yeah, it is.
From 2 weeks ago, I will take back everything I said about Michigan. Not football, but just Michigan in general, okay?
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, it's scary. I mean, you look at, and Sherwin and I were talking a little bit about it earlier. You know, there's been so many upsets across the board, across the brackets, and the Big Ten has been a casualty.
Well, I will.
That.
First of all, let's just say we're Big Ten homers. We like our Big Ten.
We do.
We were overrated.
But
I have to.
Well, see, I'm not sure how overrated. I just think it was a little luck of the draw in some of these. And I also think that, I thought teams like Baylor and Gonzaga were a little overrated because they didn't play anybody during the regular season. I thought the Big Ten was definitely going to have a better showing, but not so much.
Probably we just played all the same kind of basketball, so we don't get to, when other basketball styles come and see us, we're like, what is it?
That's true. So, almost like football with the when the West Coast offense and the spread and all that kind of stuff was still new to us back in the day.
When Tiller brought it, the basketball on grass.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yes.
When you had Drew Brees, okay. Yes, I'm going to give a plug. Since the last time I talked, Drew Brees retired.
Right.
So I got to give that a shot. I will say from a Michigan and Purdue standpoint was when Drew Henson came and played. When Drew was there, we had buttons that said our Drew's better than your Drew.
Oh, that's great.
And I think in the end that proved true.
It may have.
But in Purdue's defense in the tournament, I mean, I think at the beginning, I mean, it's still embarrassing. And I just felt like they played flat. And I just felt like North Texas felt like they have seniors. I don't want to say that the Purdue team didn't want to win this. I think everybody wants to win, but not having seniors, not having the experience. I mean, Purdue was expected to be like 8th or 12th in the Big Ten with all the freshmen and stuff like that. So, I still consider this a success for a season for the Boilermakers. So I'll take it. I mean, it's not how we want to go out, especially since we were representing the state of Indiana and it was being played in Indiana. But bottom line, now we all cheer on Michigan. I'm a Michigan fan. So
Hell go blue. Yes.
So, and it's not, I guess too, if it means the Big Ten's overrated, then it means it looks even worse for IU. So that's all I have to say.
I love it. Man, so I talked about this with Studwell last week, and I'm going to get your confirmation since I think you like to poke more fun at me with it than Studwell does. But I think the snow is done in the state, or let's call it Metro Detroit anyways, because that the snowblower's packed away. It's packed away. That's all I'm saying.
I think that's a kiss of death. What you need to do
is I got shorts and a t-shirt on. It's like 65 degrees right now. It ain't snowing no more.
All I'm saying is you happen to know 2 meteorologists, and did you consult any of them before you made such a big decision?
No, I did not. Nope. We just went blind with it, and it was like, you know what? It's like March 20th for the weekend. I'm like, there is no way we're getting any more snow. Not happening. You're
probably right, but if you do, I am laughing. I'm going to laugh
so
hard. In fact, if it does snow, I want a special show where you have both Aaron and I on so we can just make fun of you for the fact that you put it away.
I think we could work on that. That could happen.
You're right, Aaron.
Even a dusting.
Yes, absolutely. I'm going to be keeping an eye on reports.
Metro Detroit forecast.
It's actually, because of the fact, I think somebody sold their. I think what's going to happen is because I've honestly not tweeted that much, and I'm going to tell you that the people who follow me, and first of all, thank you. And if you've been like, why is he quiet? Because the weather's been quiet, and I figure you don't want to hear from me unless there's actually bad weather. That's a good sign if I'm not tweeting.
Sure.
Sometimes people just need to learn how not to tweet.
Right.
I'm just going to say.
Yeah,
I know I'll stay on my lane, and we didn't need to tweet.
Right, ride your lane. I love it. Well, man, we're headed to some dirt this weekend. Are you going to be able to catch? You going to be able to tune into this historic event?
Yes, I want to see this, and I mean, so maybe somebody smarter than me can tell us, because I mean, this is something new. I know on road courses they can race in the rain. I'm guessing a certain heavy amount of rain. Like, I mean, we're talking like, it's kind of like, I'm here in Louisville now, so I'm guessing that, at a certain point, so much rain for the Derby, it's unsafe for the horses, So, there may be a certain extent where too much rain on the dirt in Bristol, would be a safety problem for the cars.
Yeah. I would imagine though, if there's a drizzle or anything like that, they'll keep them out there. I would have to think so.
I think that's. I mean, I don't know if Stuart Eldora, right?
Yeah, Eldora. Yeah, that thing never got any rain out there.
No, never. It's halfway between here and you and me. So yeah, of course not.
Yes.
No, it's going to snow there. I mean, actually, for Bristol, it could snow. That's at this point.
That's hysterical.
Bristol and Martinsville. Yeah.
How are we looking for the weather this weekend, sir?
There's going to be chances of rain, but like I said, and I need to get a ruling on this one, and maybe Aaron and I should confer and look at what they're going to talk about. Maybe I need to get to the POC, I need to see a ruling from POCRIS on this one about the fact of whether or not we're going to see if they can race with a muddy track. I mean, obviously they have to wet it down anyway. That's right. Kind of the rule. But I mean, how much rain? I mean, obviously it's dirt on top of the track, right? Or is it actually not? Is it actually the track has been dug up anyway? I don't know.
No. They brought it in.
Okay, so I mean, after too much rain, you would think too much rain would start washing the dirt off the track. But
right. They put a lot of dirt down. That would take a lot of rain.
Well, it's possible. It is that they dealt with a lot of rain early on too in that area. No, luckily, since I do forecast for that general area, and I was our long-term forecast today at the office, I will say that their Saturday I think is mostly dry. Friday is looking dry, but we will have to monitor for the possibility of showers on Sunday. It's not a slam dunk, so we will just have to watch that. But a system is trying to move through, but there was some very, very difference on timing and location and stuff like that. So, and again, with not knowing whether or not they can or cannot, obviously I can't go any further. So I'm not even going to give an odds of race. I'm just going to say the odds that they're going to race. And they will figure this out. And once I know more, I will tweet. And of course, Aaron will have more on the Patreon account. So go ahead and support him on that one. I'm no longer. I still work with Aaron and we confer, but I'm not associated with the Patreon account. But still, I highly recommend that you give it a like and help support Aaron on this stuff because. I'm not allowed to accept anything, so this is just all for free. I mean, I'm not making it any sympathy. This is by choice. So, no, I think we're looking pretty. We have some dry days, but yes, Sunday we're going to have to watch closely for the possibility of showers. Maybe Saturday, but at this point, my focus is at this early stage in the game. My look is on Sunday.
Excellent. All right. Well. Lap Traffic Nation, huge thanks to Brian Neudorff for calling in with the weather for Bristol this week. Sir, good to catch up with you. Hopefully we'll have more good Big Ten things to talk about with Michigan, at least as the things progress here. And
go Chaos. Go Oral Roberts, go Loyola. I'm at this point. I'm all for everything. Bizarro world.
Blow it up.
Dogs and cats living together. Mass hysteria.
Yes, another Ghostbuster reference.
It works.
I love it. All right, man. Well, we'll catch you in a couple weeks.
Sounds good.
All right, we'll see you.
All right.
All right, and we're back with Mr. Andrew Sherwin from the PETM podcast. Great to catch up with Brian Neudorff. As always, catch him in a couple weeks. And we'll get Mr. Aaron Studwell on next week, hopefully to be able to continue to talk about some Michigan victories. All right, man, it's time for some Lucky Dog lap down picks. No wave around hotline this week because we got Mr. Sherwin on here for the whole ordeal. Let's get to our picks. Sherwin, my lucky dog is Justin Allgaier. I mentioned it a little bit ago. I just think that's a big win for him early in the season. So Justin Allgaier is getting my lucky dog vote. Sherwin, what's your lucky dog for the race weekend?
I'm going to give the lucky dog to Daniel Hemrick for not catching that haymaker right in the jaw.
Truth. Yes, sir. All right. A lap down. Kevin Harvick and SHR as a whole. They're just missing it at the moment. So hopefully they can get it going after the Easter break here and, get back to it. Who's your lap down there, sir?
Well, after driving all the way up to the top 5 and then blowing a motor, I got to give lap down to Chase Elliott and number 9 crew. Yeah,
that was a bummer. It always seems like the hometown guys, it takes them a minute before they can pick up that hometown victory, it seems.
For sure.
All right. I'm going to read some tweeted responses. Feel free to cut me off, chime in, have some fun with it for sure. Scott at 1985 Wagner's a lucky dog is Blaney. Had the car when it mattered. A lap down, Keselowski, Kevin Harvick. Slight advantage to Kevin Harvick. Between the last 4 AMSs, both spent time a lap down. Surprising doesn't cover it. That is interesting that both Keselowski and Harvick, who have been the last ones to win at Atlanta, had the most struggles this past weekend.
Yeah, between them, they won the last 4.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It is surprising. But then again, you can connect the dots there. What manufacturer do both of those drivers drive for?
Yeah, that's that blue oval right there.
Yeah.
Blue oval.
Something's going on there.
Yes. Jeff at JBev1789, lucky dog. Blaney for a heck of a rally to track down Larson, and even cooler to make that little kid's day. Lap down the rest of Penske. They seem so far off at the 1.5 miles. Lucky dog number 2, all of us now that it's Bristol week. I love when they make a little kid's day and hand them that checkered flag. And I love it because the kid knows that it's something cool, but that ain't going to be something he really is able to grasp just how cool until he's, maybe 13, 14 years old. And hopefully dad keeps that flag for him nice and pretty and all that good stuff. And he's able to go back, rewatch it on YouTube and see it. Cause that's, to me, that's when that's going to sink in for the little kids that, whether it's Kevin Harvick pulling him onto the track to take a selfie, getting a checkered flag, whatever it may be.
Yeah, I'm 100% on that. Blaney he's kind of done that from the beginning. I know he's only won 5 races to this point, but he kind of makes a habit of this. And that's one of the things that you can do to engage the younger kids and get them excited about coming back to a racetrack. What you want is your 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old, begging daddy, hitting on his knee, going, when we going back to the racetrack? When we going back to the racetrack? That's what we need.
100%. Jess at Iowa NASCAR fans, lucky dog Blaney for coming out of nowhere. Hemrick for dodging a punch and then landing one of his own on Gregson. A lap down SHR. It's officially time to panic. The 1.5 mile program is horrible. Yeah, they are struggling. And, man, just those haymakers, man. That was like, when I watched that back, I was like, oh, haymaker. Yes.
Yeah, he caught one loose, and obviously it didn't land, but that second one that he threw, I think that might have found his ear hole.
that hit, that hurt, that did land, that's for sure. Kristen at K Hoglund 79 lap down to Noah Gregson for not connecting on Hemrick's face. There's always next time. Woo! Kristen getting after it. Lucky dog to Kyle Larson for running another great race. I love it. Mick at GoDucks 42 _ mix. Lucky dog Blaney. He's not the Buckeye Bullet, but he's short, close by Young Money. Lap down. Hate to pile on SHR, but they've lost their mojo. Yeah, I mean, we've talked about that at length for sure. Brian at Stormin B81. Let's see. Lap down. AMS, not only the grass, but let's repave it already. Lucky dog Blaney running down Larson at the end, making it the only interesting thing about Sunday. Woo, Brian coming in hot there. I know you and Brian get into it a little bit there every once in a while there, so I'll let you have that one.
Well, I think Brian and I might need to throw hands after this. I don't mind the comment about what they ought to do with the infield. But if you want to pave that track, let's duke it up. Let's put the gloves on. Let's throw hands because that's bullshit.
Somehow I knew that was coming. Oh, I love it. Oh, Matt at Campers News. Net to close it out. Lucky dog Ryan Blaney with the run he had with the last 30 laps to win. Additional lucky dog that I'm going to be able to attend the Pocono doubleheader weekend in June. Lap down, Chase Elliott with the engine issues at his home track. I love it. All right, man, before we close this thing out with some lap traffic fantasy, you guys weren't able to make it to AMS this past week. Where might fans find lap traffic and PETM this summer? Where are you guys planning on being?
I've got to talk to Rusty about where he thinks he wants to go, but I can promise you that I will be at the NASCAR doubleheader at the Indy Road Course in August.
Excellent.
That's the only thing I can promise right now.
Okay. All right. I am, especially with Pocono having me on their podcast during the off season and them donating a pair of tickets to be able to give away. I really hope, especially because Michigan doesn't have the June race this year. So that kind of opens up like a free weekend for me in June. So I would really like to get to Pocono to kind of be able to thank them in person and have some fun at Pocono. So I would really like to make Pocono work. I hope to be able to make MIS work in August, as well as, man, I know it might be a stretch to hit both Bristol and Martinsville, but if I can make one of those at least happen this year, that would be incredible, and I'd lose my mind. And anything else in between, Nashville would be incredible. There's just so many that if the opportunity presented itself on the right weekend with a cheap Airbnb and cashing in some airline miles, Brandon is down.
If you're telling me right now that you're going to Pocono in June, then I'm going to Pocono in June.
Okay. All right. Well, I reached out to them and they said, hey, appreciate it. We are a little early yet still on being able to narrow down anything. And I said, hey, I figured I just wanted to get my name in the hat to let you know that if things are available, that I'm available. So, yeah, I will. That would work because we could meet up, fly in, and, get a Airbnb or something like that by the track and have a dandy of a good old time.
100%.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Cool. I like that for sure.
Nashville's definitely still in the cards because it's so easy for Rusty to get to. And we talked about, both of us love Nashville.
Great area. Great area.
That's part of it. The thing with Bristol is now that it's into football season,
yes,
you end up having to make that decision of, do I go to Bristol or do I'm already looking at buying season tickets to Georgia Tech football and I might go to one game, maybe. Like, I've already made my mind up. If I go back to Atlanta, I'm not driving. I'm flying.
Yes.
I got 335,000 miles.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not driving.
I got like 150.
That's not a thing anymore.
Yeah. Yep. No, I'm with you. I don't got no problem flying. I told Lindsay, anything I can do to get miles on that Amex card is what I do, and then just pay it off on Friday, because that's free perks right there if you're able to take advantage of that type of situation.
That's why I pay for everything with that card, and then I always fly Delta. Like, well, yeah, but it's not the cheapest flight you can buy. I mean, yeah, but there's other reasons why to do it.
Yeah. Yep. Nope. Absolutely. All right, man. Let's close this thing out with a little lap traffic fantasy. Lap traffic fantasy players, make sure you get your picks in by 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Thursday. If I am annoying you guys with the emails, I apologize, but I just want everybody to get as many points as possible. So just make sure you're reading the emails so that you know who is eligible, who is not eligible. Kyle Busch is not eligible for the Truck Series. Neither is Martin Truex Jr. Anybody that made the Cup playoffs in 2020 are only eligible for the Cup Series, and once per segment. Everything else is free game, though. So Kyle Larson, if Kyle Larson runs all 3 series every single weekend, you could pick him for every race every week. But Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex Jr., those guys are limited to just the Cup Series. If their number is on the little, picks sheet there on the website, those are the guys who are limited to just the Cup Series. But I digress. Week high this past week was Stephen Florence with Larson, Haley, John Hunter. Racked up 153 points. Nice job there, sir. I will get you on the show here at some point over the next couple weeks. My picks, not horrible. I picked up 110 points with Austin Hill, Noah Gragson, Kevin Harvick. Sherwin, you picked up 93 points with Ben Rhodes, Harrison Burton, Joey Logano. One of your better showings this past week. So nice job there. We still got to get Rusty on board to get some picks in on a little bit more consistent basis, but I know he's got work stuff that happens. So yeah, that will happen. So that's okay. Let's see. I have moved from 66 to 55th to 37th, and I only moved up one spot this week to 36. Sherwin, you're in 37th, but the good news is that each spot is only about a point or two off for the most part. So a good week, and if a couple people mess up with who they pick this week, you can get right back in the thick of things. So it's not that far fetched, and things reset for segment 2 here in 7 Cup races. So you're not out. You can still make the playoffs, sir.
Woo!
Yes.
Go me.
Yes. All right, I am going to hit the top 10 here real quick. In first with 674 is Fred Leclerc. In second with 657 is Jess Rose. In third with 606 is Carson Hagelin. In fourth, all the way in Australia with 605 points is John Entwistle. In fifth with 601 is CJ Wolliver. In sixth with 600 is Michael Elliott. In seventh are the guys across the pond with 588, the MOATF podcast. In eighth with 587 is Henry Fletcher. Two-way tie for ninth with 582 between Jeff Bevan and Michael Mason. And wrapping out the top 10 with 577 is Robert Riggs. And we got a bunch of people with some bonus points. Sherwin, you even got a bonus point there, man. So, keep it going. Keep it going.
We'll try.
Yes.
Hell.
Yes. All right, man. It's time to make some picks for Bristol. It's going to be interesting, I think, because we really don't have. There's no trends. There's nothing to kind of give yourself a warm and fuzzy feeling about how to pick for this race. But that said, we're headed to the last great Coliseum. Our closest thing is the Truck Series at Eldora, which Larson's done well. Austin Dillon's done well. You know, Matt Crafton in the Truck Series has picked up a win. I think those we expect to be up front, like a Larson, Christopher Bell will be up front. The question's going to be, you know, are we going to get a little bit of a bleep show or something like that at the end? Are we going to get a first-time winner? Guys are going to be racing, trying to take advantage of the fact that it's a plate, almost like a plate race in that it's an even playing field. I'm curious to see who sneaks in the win. Sherwin, let's make some picks. We'll start with you. Who is your pick for the Bristol Dirt Truck Race?
Whew. Wow.
Yeah, I know. Yep.
I should have thought about this. Sorry for the long pause for all the listeners. I didn't really think about this before I got into this. I should have known that I was going to have to do this.
That's
but
all right. You can give a pick, and if you decide you want to change it later, you can do that.
You know what? Let's maybe I'll color outside the lines a little bit and pick. Is Stuart Friesen running this thing?
Yes, sir.
I'll pick Stuart Friesen.
I like that. Our last Eldora winner. That's a solid pick there, sir. I am also going with a past Eldora winner in Matt Crafton. First time running Bristol. I need a veteran that's going to keep it clean and just hopefully be there at the end. So I'm going to go with Matt Crafton. No Xfinity race. How about the Cup Series Sunday afternoon? Sherwin, who do you have for the Cup?
Kurt Busch.
Kurt Busch. I like that pick, sir. I know a lot of people are going to pick Kyle Larson. I know a lot of people are going to pick Christopher Bell. But I'm going to go with somebody, Sherwin, that you said that needs to win if we're going to have this talk of 16 winners, and that is Austin Dillon.
There you go.
Yes. All right. Those are our picks. Sherwin, let's wrap this thing up. Lap Traffic Nation, that's going to do it for episode 230 of the Lap Traffic Podcast. Make sure you check out the website, laptrafficpodcast.com, all that good stuff. Go get over to manscaped.com. Use code LAPT at checkout. Don't forget about the giveaway with less than 200 followers to go. Huge thanks to Brian Neudorff and Andrew Sherwin for calling in. Sherwin, what's everyone got looking forward to or to look forward to with the PETM podcast?
Yeah, so tomorrow night we'll go live at 9 o'clock on the YouTube, and then, of course, we'll be on all the other places where you can just listen. But we've got former NASCAR President Brent Dewar, and you can follow us at PETM Podcast on both Twitter and Instagram. You can follow me at Pregame Engineer on Twitter and at Andrew L. Sherwin on Instagram.
Yes, sir. All right. Don't get caught chasing the lucky dog. Tune in each and every week to the Lap Traffic Podcast. See ya.